40 for a sanso and mapa game at the bar chromatic so. Na Yehora is selling massive based profit about Bonting at the same between as a doctor Mahamudu Bawumia after 2024 election case of Basoni de Papa to new minister election na percentage what being within a 50.9% within some markets of massive based profit be about Bonting and so at the to Ghana and say what I predicting elections and the predictions do not so able meetings so I predict said Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia being included say GD and so same about Bonting made able meeting just a minute
Bawumia led do we have a text about it? Okay, yes. So the priest says Bawumia led MPP to win 2024 polls with 50.9% with 153 seats, Kumasi-based prophets. The guy has put himself into NDC because this is what he said. He said if Bawumia leads the MPP, he will get 50.9 and MPP will get 153 seats for the 2024 election. Okay, these are the details. A Kumasi-based prophet who is famously credited with predicting election results accurately has once again prophesied victory for the ruling MPP in 2024 elections with the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as his flag bearer. Prophet Paul Kusiapia of the Charismatic Temple International Ministry located at Ayensua says the ruling party will secure 50.9 in the presidential elections and 153 seats come December 7, 2024. The MPP will surely emerge victorious in the 2024 election. Dr. Bawumia will be their flag bearer and he will win 13 regions out of 16, whilst the MPP will secure 153 seats to lead parliament. Prophet Kusiapia stated, quote, Dr. Bawumia will secure 64% of the votes in the presidential primaries by winning 13 out of the 16 regions he predicted. That's him. Okay, young man. Hey, young man, you like trouble, oh. According to him, the current Asante regional chairman of the MPP, Chairman Wontumi, holds the key to the victory of the MPP, adding that Chairman Wontumi will also take the mantle from Mr. Stephen Intim, who will only serve one term as the national chairman. Hey, Chairman Wontumi is going to be the national chairman. You know, Wontumi is my man. Wontumi there is my man. No two ways about it. So I had a video of, please play that video. Now we started with he and Kennedy Japan. They were in the studio talking. Please play that video. Now that they mentioned what we play, then we go on. Play that video.
Young guys be able to do what you know. Your friend Agaga. Oh, Agaga, this is no share Makora. I know, and that's me say, and that's this is me pow. What you know, and I'm say, and that's what I would confirm one on you. What just and I'm so stupid criminal. Or some of them is so the old friend. That's no one of me. Only Scanica, so catch them so. Would you say me and Corabia? Would you say me a cracker? And it's now the person for young guys to be able to do what you know. Your friend Agaga. Oh, Agaga, this is no share Makora. I know, and that's me say, and that's this is me pow. What you know, and I'm say, and that's what I would confirm one on you. What just and I'm so stupid criminal. Or some of them is so the old friend.
I just like the feel about these right-wing people. You know, right-wing people are also quite honest. Yeah, what Kennedy Japan told him. So Wontumi is talking and says, "Anas ni me pa." Kennedy Japan looks at him and says, "I saw they are confirm one on your monam." Then Wontumi says, "Seven they sell." And they are all laughing. Is that not beautiful? Why do you have to? Is that not beautiful? Wontumi is talking. He says something about Anas. He says, Anas, minim no pow. Then Kennedy said, I saw they are confirm. You know, Kennedy has a problem with Anas. We all know that. They say they are confirm. And he said, I said, me are confirm they sell. And then they are all laughing. That's beautiful. Okay. Good evening to President Mahama. Good evening to Alhaji Bawumia. Now, let me say something. Now, a serious time now. Viewers, I'm sharing the research with you. We've moved from entertainment to now inform and educate. Okay. The elections can be won by NPP. It can be won by NDC. NDC could win. NPP could win. CPP cannot win. But NPP could win. NDC could win. We know that already. Okay. So at this stage, some NDC people think they've already won. It's okay. No problem. This election is going to be peculiar in a certain way. Because in the context of the incumbency we call something in political science the deficit quotient of the incumbent. So every incumbent suffers a deficit quotient. I'll tell you a story again. I'm sorry, I have too many stories. In the second round of election 2008, we were going to Kumasi. I was going to report, but of course, everyone knew my relationship with Akufo-Addo. So there was campaign in Kumasi. Mills was in Kumasi. Akufo-Addo was in Kumasi. Second round. So we were at the Accra airport, boarding a plane. I believe I was with Gabi Ochiridako and Yao Kwachi and somebody sitting on one side of the table, on the chairs, waiting for the plane. Then the other side was, when we showed up, the other side was Atu Ahoy, Kwame Pepra, Kojo Bonsu, and I believe the guy from Infantiman, Aquinas Kwanzaa. So Aquinas Kwanzaa, Kojo Bonsu is my brother, or my senior brother, I should say, Kwame Pepra, and Atu Ahoy. Myself, Gabi Ochiridako, and Yaokwachi, something like that. So we're all standing there, you could hold the tension in the small space. We're waiting for Amtrak Alaji Bande's plane. Okay. We're all there quiet, nobody's talking. Then Kojo Bonsu broke the ice. Let me tell you what he said. Well, then the Kojo said, then everybody laughed. And he captured the mood. We were all going, this is second round 2008. We were going to Kumasi, and this is Ato Ahoy, big Mills people, senior Mills people. And Gabi Ochiridako, proper Akufo-Addo advisor. They were all there. Kojo Bonsu said, hey, Adewe, Mumusro, yes, Yusro. And then we all laughed. Then Kwame Pepra told me something. I asked him that why is he confident that NDC will win? I had already started my work. They said, let me tell you something. The incumbency thing. He said he's been a minister of finance. By the time you're a minister for 4 years and for 8 years, you have offended so many people. I said, why? He said, because he's been a minister of finance, he comes to work and they said 35 people are waiting for him. He cannot see all the 35 people. He just physically can't. He sits in the office and they say Rollins is calling him and he drives away to the castle. He comes back and they said the vice president is calling you. Then he goes. Then there's a meeting. Then he goes. 35 people are waiting. You can see only 3 of them. He said the rest will go away. They will not vote for you. If you've done that for 8 years, I should imagine how many little votes you are losing. The incumbency is always difficult. And I told him about political science, the deficit quotient of incumbent. And he said, so your man is not going to win. If he didn't win the first round, he will not win the second round. That's what Kwame Pepra told me. I just smiled. I didn't say anything. I said, okay. And then the plane took off and we went to Kumasi. Eventually, Professor Mills actually did win. Kwame Pepra was right. Now, the incumbency issue is always affects incumbents. So if Dr. Bawumia, and it's a big if Dr. Bawumia is elected, I'll show you a Dr. Bawumia video. Please remind me, I have a Dr. Bawumia video, very important one I need to show to viewers this evening after this conversation. If Dr. Bawumia is elected, he will be challenging President Mahama. Now, what's going to happen to the incumbency deficit quotient in the presidential election? Whereas Dr. Bawumia, and this is good for the MPP, whereas Dr. Bawumia is going to carry some, he's going to share it with President Mahama, when in fact the opposition leader doesn't carry any of it at all. This particular opposition leader is going to carry some of it because he's been president before. And we are building this analysis so that when the results start coming in on the 9th of December 8th, we will be putting it together. This is what we talk about. The incumbency deficit quotient is going to affect President Mahama as well. Fortunately for Dr. Bawumia, even though he's running on incumbent third term, he's going to share that with President Mahama, and we have positioned it this way. We think Dr. Bawumia is going to bear 65% of the incumbency disadvantage, and John Mahama is going to bear 35% of it. That's our own analysis. It could be different. You can vary the figures one way or the other. It depends on how the campaign goes. We will update the figures when the campaign starts. But as of now, we think, based on the fact that John Mahama has been president before, he's going to share the incumbent deficit quotient with Dr. Bawumia. We think 35% President Mahama, 65% Alhaji Bawumia. So that's because ordinarily Dr. Bawumia should be carrying the load, 100% of incumbency deficit quotient. But because President Mahama has been president before, and the MPP can actually run as an opposition, That's very interesting, isn't it? MPP can build campaign as an opposition. What did President Mahama do? When President Mahama did this, when he came, he did that. That sounds like opposition. But in this context, you are able to run against President Mahama as if he is the government and you are the opposition. That's what we found in the presidential election, and we'll be updating it. Now let's look at the parliamentary election.
And some Kumasi based prophet also the Bawumia also what you see Vice President Dr. Bawumia come say election case no so afi 2024 the papi ebetumi edi the 50.9% percent ebetumi di increment so sem aba president do na so ebisa say na flag worship election no yen ko e kura ku na we predict say afi 2024 Dr. Bawumia be di increment say o muntu fa no to nche because na dey delegate na kasa e to meaning to say aka say Dr. Bawumia be di increment na obi aso nim say e kwan bia so no be di increment no and e fa to nche so se papi etu aso e to go to comment section na also okochewa de nya bra mesumeti nya kinkan edi ama aha e akroma tv so ya medical say we ebramidi e de obinge brosechi makramo